Thank you, and good evening again to everyone who joined today. We are almost coming to an end of 2023. This year, I started to look back because we are, as One Vision family, we are looking into releasing our newsletter for 2023. I honestly speaking from my bottom of my heart, I do not know where to start and where to end. So much things we've done in 2023. But I just wanted to share two or three biggest achievement what we made in 2023. And I want to say a big thank you. I think my colleague Akhtar is going to be doing the water thanks, and he's probably written 2-3 pages to thank people. But I just want to quickly say a big thank you to my good friend Harjit. He was kind of, everyone knows that shoulder to shoulder he stands with me in my journey, and Sharon, Abba, Priyanka, and operating the food hub. I'm going to ask Nemo to speak. Nemo is more likely a family to me, and she runs the food hub with amazing compassion. And if I missed anyone's name, it's not that you're not my friend. You all live with me. I just wanted to share the biggest two achievement is we signed a contract with Hertfordshire Partnership University NHS Foundation Trust to deliver mental health services to Black community in Watford and Three Rivers. And we did amazingly well. So going into 2024, we got some great news coming in that throughout the Hertfordshire, One Vision will be delivering more services to the ethnic minorities and delivering mental health services on their patient care equality frame network. So we will be doing it. So we started to write proposals and how we're going to do it, how we're going to do that. That's one biggest achievement. The other one is in the early stage of December 2023, we got signed off by Macmillan Cancer Support Services. Again, we'll be creating community cancer champions and working very closely with Macmillan, delivering that message and awareness to the South Asian and the African and Caribbean communities in part of our town and wider town as well. And this is a national program, what Macmillan does. And so we amazingly got 3 years contract with them. That press release will be done early part of next year. Saying that is only that your support, many of our volunteers, and this is much needed to our community, particularly the African, Caribbean, South Asian communities, who we try to put voices in their agenda, in their strategic plans and everything. I think we helped HPFT to build a strategic 5-year strategic plans for them, focusing on Black and Asian minorities. That doesn't mean that One Vision just work with BME populations, because BME population needs that support. That's why we're working, but we work with every community, every faith groups, and all over. Doesn't matter what religion, creed, race they belong to. We are there as a charity. We work together on this journey. I'm going to ask Nemo to say a few words, and also I'm going to bring in my friend before the main speakers comes in, just to give a couple of minutes, if I give to Nemo, and also Jas here. Jas is lately joined us. Very good relationship building in One Vision, is planning our strategic plans and all this. And I just want Jas to introduce yourself and what work we will be doing in 2024 with us. One of our arm is delivering food to our community. Every food delivery we do, whether it's fresh meals or grocery bags, we do it through referrals. It's not somebody can pick up on us. We don't run as a food bank. We work with stakeholders. We work with county council, local council, police, social services, women's center, a lot of agencies. What they do, they work with the community. They work with deprived family. They work with people who are in need. They refer to us, and we take the referral, we deliver, we look after them, we review them, we do everything. So we do about amazing work, and I'll let Nemo, if you go, and just briefly talk about how amazing work you do, Nemo.
Hi everyone, it's Nemo here. The hub has been very, how do I put it? It's been amazing to work with the service users and all the partners that we work with the place, the social workers, everybody. We have increased this year by 80 more service users this year in 23. It's for me, the best part is I talk to all of them. I try my best to make sure that they are safe, and if they need help, they can just call us at any time. So it's been exceptionally good relationship with all the social workers, the housing association. We practically talk every day. Police visited today because they had a problem with one of the service users. So we chatted. So we are building absolutely exceptional relationship in the community. We are getting more and more ethnic minority service users joining us now because they find it very difficult to ask for food. I've been chatting to lots of people, and they are really now being partners with One Vision. And my hope for next year is to build this incredible relationship with people we help. So we can communicate with them, we can make sure that we can signpost them to various organizations. And we have got lots of help from Food Bank Aid. They've been very, very good. Marks and Spencer's, Morrison's, Asda, they've all been exceptionally good with us. And for me, hope for the 2024 is just looking after people, just making them feel safe. Food is very important part of people's life. And for me, that is, I just absolutely love One Vision for what we're doing it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nemo. One of our agenda is for 2024. We are we are planning to make that hub as a healthy hub. So yes, we do need to help people with food, and we wanted to change their eating habits as well. So we wanted to make sure that we're sending the right message, what we deliver in our community. I'm very sorry to not introduce Nemo as Nemo is Nirmala Shinkavi, and she's an MBE. Apologize, Nemo, for that. Thank you so much. Jas, if I could have you for a couple of minutes.
I'm Jas Rasool. My background is in science, particularly looking at mental health and using artificial intelligence to keep track of it and help people improve their mental health. I've been a researcher at university for a good 7-8 years, working on big European Union projects. And my focus on One Vision will be specifically to look at how it can get more support, specifically in funding. A lot of the European Union projects I worked on were multi-million euro projects, and having seen those proposals, it's clear that we need some of that kind of architecture to the proposals that we put in for funding within One Vision. So in the coming year, in addition to doing that, I'll be looking at how One Vision could be more effective, more targeted in what it's doing. It's not all about efficiency, it's more about, are we connected internally and externally in the ways that are going to help One Vision build its momentum and build its impact.
Thank you very much, Jas, for that kind introduction. And we're all looking forward to working with you, Jas. Right, let me move on to our first speaker, Sharon Platt McDonald. I have to introduce who Sharon is, because I'm very passionate when I introduce Sharon. Sharon, not only a good friend, she's a sister to another mother for me. Sharon works as the Director for Health, Women's Ministry and Community Services for the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the British Isles. She pursued a career in the caring profession and is a registered nurse, midwife, and health visitor, experience in health service management. She is a certified health coach and currently pursuing a PhD in original medicine. As a motivational speaker, mentor, editor, and author of over 30 books and publications, Sharon is enthusiastic about sharing the message of health, hope, and healing. She believes that as we follow God's directive for emotional, physical, spiritual, and social well-being, we will positively impact our communities with the ministry of restoration for His glory. So we're delighted to have Sharon here, not only as a friend, as a profession, and the right person to give a message of hope this evening. Not only Sharon is married to my good friend Denzel, a member of London Adventist Sherol, the share of love for music through singing, playing the piano and violin. Sharon thanks God for Denzel's faithful support for her work. They both are wonderful musicians. I personally heard Sharon playing many instruments, and God has blessed her in many ways. Sharon, thank you for joining us in your valuable time. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Enoch. I hardly recognize myself in that introduction. Thank you. It's a joy to be with you all this evening. And if you could allow me to share the my PowerPoint, there we are. It's this one. Fabulous. Right. Can you see that now?
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. So this evening, I'd just like to, in the few moments that we have together, to just share some thoughts around hope and how that can be a healing aspect of life. Now, I love this quote from Desmond Tutu, where he says, hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. And I really resonate with that, because if you hear the word light and darkness, they're complete opposite. But I resonate with this statement because there's been a lot of darkness in our lives over the past. Let's take the pandemic, for instance. The Lancet Psychiatry said that the pandemic will cause distress and leave many people vulnerable to mental health problems and suicidal behavior. And the mental health consequences are likely to be present for longer and peak later than the actual pandemic. So a lot of darkness, but there is still hope. And we're going to get onto the hope in a minute. But let's look at another aspect that can be dark for various people. If you look at the stats in terms of loneliness and how that lack of social contact has adversely impacted people's mental health. So in 2018, you had 34% of people felt a lack of companionship. By 2020, that went up to 41%. 2018, 27% of people felt isolated from others. That went up 56 to 56%. A lot of this has been, of course, attributed to possibly the pandemic. And then if you look at 2018, 28% of people had infrequent social contact, and that went up again to 49%. So a lot of things that has happened that can dampen people's hope. But humanity connects us all. And, you know, it was Herman Melville who said this: we cannot live only for ourselves. 1,000 fibers connect us with our fellow men. And this is the connectivity that we can breed hope into people's lives when they feel hopeless. And we can find hope even when life hurts. So I coined an acronym, HOPE, and I want to go through really quickly, that I've used to work with individuals who are depressed, who are feeling hopeless about their situation. And the acronym spells HOPE, HOPE, and the H for help and healing, O for optimism, for obstacles and facing your opportunities, P for purpose and prayer, and E for encouragement and endurance. So let's quickly go through that very quickly. So the first H is for help. Now, help is always at hand. We see this through so many avenues, through our faith community, through voluntary agencies, through organizations like the Samaritans, through mental health services. We're doing a mental health project, as you know, with Hertfordshire Primary Foundation Trust, and that's really boosting people's confidence already. There's community agencies, there's volunteering, there is a plethora of help that's to hand. But one of the things that I find that has been absolutely fantastic working with One Vision is the hope that they are bringing to lives across the board. And we're doing a outreach for mental health to increase the uptake of mental health services for African, Caribbean, Asian individuals who have mental health challenges, but they're not accessing the service. So this is a way, these 4 pillars is a way of providing them with hope that their mental health challenges can be addressed. So we've introduced community connectors, and these are individuals who look like the people they serve in the community. So we're developing community connectors from African, Asian, West Indian backgrounds who can minister to people that look like them in the community. And what the first pillar that we're looking at is culture and mental health. So we're looking at how we can use our cultural backgrounds and its nuances to be a stepping stone for our mental health. And there's a range of workshops that we're doing around positively looking at aspects of all our culture that can enhance our mental well-being. The second pillar is faith and mental health, and we've started each of these pillars. We've already done several workshops in the community. And so the faith and mental health one looks at how we can use our faith to prevent mental health challenges. But when we have mental health challenges, how having a faith can actually boost our recovery. And Mental Health Foundation did some research in 2016 and 2020 that showed that people who have a faith background can recover quickly from mental health challenges. Going back to culture and mental health, Psychology Today did some research and found that sometimes our culture can preclude us, or actually inhibit us, should we say, from getting mental health services or help, because in some of our cultures, we usually sort of keep it in the family type of thing. We don't like to go outside and ask for help. It's sometimes seen as a weakness, but we want to look at some of those cultural nuances and ideologies that prevent some of our people from getting mental health services or uptaking the services, and use some of the positives of things around our culture, the way we connect together, our connectivity, our socialization process, how we can use all of those things positively to help our mental health. Then nutrition, we're looking at all the foods from Asia, Africa, West Indian cultures that can actually boost our mental health and well-being. And we've done some workshops already on that, because I think people want to know that you don't have to have a European diet necessarily to enhance your mental health. If in terms of brain health and getting the right nutrients, you can use the foods that are culturally specific to you, but use them in a way that is advantageous. And then we're looking at exercise and mental health because there's a lot of research that talks about exercise releasing the endorphins and cutting down on, it actually inhibits the production of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and so forth. And so we're doing workshops around that, how to engage people. And when we're active in these areas, it enhances our hope quota, so to speak. And so we have several project resources that we're giving to people in the community. And then H again is for healing. During the pandemic, I partnered with One Vision, and they were able to provide us with hot food for clients in the community, individuals who had COVID and they'd gone into hospital and was discharged, but they were still struggling. So I put together a shopping box list that you can see there on the left, and we posted it through the letterbox, and then we would come back and collect that, and based on what people chose, we would then do some shopping for them. And in the middle you can see the hot food that One Vision provided. On the left there, on the of the screen, on the right of the screen, you can see some resources that we had. So we were looking at people's physical well-being, emotional, psychological and spiritual well-being, and we had so many letters of appreciation from individuals who said, "You saved my life." The amount of people who wrote in and said, I was not just healed physically because I was struggling with COVID and I couldn't do my shopping or I couldn't cook, but I was healed emotionally because I felt that someone cared. Someone came to my door, they gave me help. I was helped spiritually. I felt healed spiritually because of some of the books and some of the literature that helped to nurture me during the pandemic. So there are so many ways that we can build hope and helping people to heal from life's traumas. So O is for optimism, having a brighter outlook. And it is said that hope is that light in the distance which keeps the visions of your goals illuminated. And so what I do in the restoration workshops, people who are feeling down and in despair and anxiety and feeling hopeless about their situation, I get them to write some goals and almost put sort of a light bulb underneath each of those goals that they want to see for the future, and color that in when an idea comes to them, because hope, when you have ideas, it instigates hope. You could, although things may be dark now, having a brighter outlook keeps one optimistic. Then P, I think I have skipped a slide, so I'll go to the other O. So O is about obstacles. How do we deal with our obstacles in order to keep hope alive? It could be something really simple. I remember as a child, my brother and I, at 2, my parents took us to live in Jamaica. And in the 60s, I'm showing my age now, in the 60s, people from the West Indies, what happened was when they came to the UK, they faced a lot of financial challenges and so forth. And so it was very common for the father or the husband of the family to send the family back to the West Indies for others to care for them. So that's what happened to us. We went to live for 4 years, then we came back. I remember coming back and things were very difficult. And as children, we had to walk a long way to school and so forth. We didn't have a vehicle in those days, and we weren't very affluent. I remember my brother and I would, as we were walking home, we would go past the shops and we would sort of say, well, that's mine. And we would choose things that we felt we couldn't afford, but in our mind we did a sort of play acting, that's mine. And one of them was a cake shop that we passed, and every day we would put our nose up against the glass and I would say, that's mine, that donut is mine, and my brother would say, that's mine. And then I remember the shopkeeper would shoo us away, and one day I tried to get into the cake shop just to get a little bit of a closer view, and we were shooed away from the door. And I remember saying to my brother, one day I'm going to go into that cake shop and I'm going to buy every one of those cakes on that shelf. And he laughed. He said, you'll never be able to afford it. But I tell you something, in about 10 years later, so that was, yeah. When I was 19, I did my nursing in the Nightingale School of Nursing, St Thomas's Hospital. And when I got my first salary, so as a student nurse, they gave you sort of like a stipend, and it was £222. And when I paid all the bills and so forth and did various things, I took a bus to Streatham Hill to that very cake shop. And I went into that shop and I and I purchased one of every single cake. When I'd finished purchasing the cakes, I then purchased one of every donut, and then I purchased some pastries, one of everything. Now, I'm saying this about obstacle. The obstacle for me as a child, impoverished, was that glass window, which we would press our face up. We never thought we could afford to go into that shop and buy any of those cakes as a child. But having that optimistic outlook, I said, one day I'm going to go into that shop and buy every cake that there is. And so the shopkeeper gave me this huge box, and I went home and shared it with my siblings. Now, that's just a really, really simple way of looking at it. For me, my obstacle was a glass window. For others, it may be something else that's standing in their way. But when I do my transformational workshops, I say to people, look at what your obstacle is and imagine yourself on the other side of the obstacle. I saw myself on the other side of that glass of the cake shop, and I got in and got those cakes. And then the P, and I'm going to go really quickly because I think I'm over time now. P is for purpose. What purpose do we have in our life? Even when we're in pain and that has caused us some trauma and we are hopeless, we can turn our pain into purpose. So my parents, I lost both my parents a couple of years ago, and we buried them 7 months apart. I thought my world had collapsed. I didn't know how I was going to bounce back from that because I was very close to both my parents. Subsequently, we lost about 13 family members within 6 years. And the last batch was we lost 2 during COVID. But the wonderful thing that happened was out of the pain, I developed a bereavement care ministry called Comfort, Solace, Support and Strength during times of grief. And I used the grief and the trauma that we went through, it's a long story, to fuel the productivity. And as this book was launched in 2019, we hit the pandemic, and we were able to give away, I think within a 6 months, 1,500 of these books to comfort other people who are going through grief and bereavement. So what I thought was going to kill me actually made me better. It gave me purpose to help others. P is for prayer. We know so much from research that people of faith, people who pray, who have that connectivity to a deity, when we're going through trauma and we feel that there's nothing we can do in our human strength, believing in God or someone who's bigger than us, that prayer of faith can help with our mental well-being and our sort of recovery. E for encouragement. I want to ask you, who encourages you? And who can you encourage? When I do this workshop, again, we look at tasks that if you have a neighbor and you know that person is struggling, what kind of word can you say to them? What can you, if you can ask them, can I help you with your shopping and so forth? So there are things that we can actually do, and we take individuals through the empowerment workshops that look at how we can encourage others and how we can gain encouragement ourselves. And then the last E is for endurance. We don't have to run alone. Endurance is about resilience. And so again, I do several different workshops on resilience, how to endure trauma and challenges in life and how to come out at the other end. But what are the foundational principles that give us that stickability, so to say, the resilience to keep us going, to enduring even when life is tough? And so one of the things I say to individuals about hope is to hold on, the pain ends. That's another way of looking at hope. Hold on, the pain will end. And so as I close today, I want to ask you the question, what are you hoping for in 2024? Whatever you're hoping for, there's help. Healing is possible to get us over our traumas and difficulties. Our obstacles, we can turn our obstacles into opportunities. We can find purpose even in the pain. We can use prayer to bolster our spiritual well-being. We can look at encouragement we can get from others and for ourselves in order to endure. And whatever you're hoping for in 2024, sometimes things can be daunting and you may have goals that seem impossible. But I want to say this in closing: we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose finite hope. Yes, life can be disappointing. Yes, sometimes things don't turn out as we wish, but have hope, because even when disappointment comes along, we can accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. May you be blessed for a bright, a blessed, a prosperous, successful 2024. May you soar in 2024.
Thank you so much for your blessed message, Sharon. Sharon, how wonderful it is to take us through 2023 and going into 2024 with your lovely message. We invited our next speaker, Priyanka Gandhi. Priyanka Gandhi is a good friend of One Vision. She's a vice president for South Asian Heritage Association, and she's building a great team in 2024. She already started her work. Few of other than the Macmillan and HPFT, we're taking over on 2024 with County Council supported projects. One, we'll be working in Broxbourne on healthy eating, borderline diabetes through general GP surgeries. The other project, we'll be working in few towns in Hertfordshire, in Heritage Association, and people identifying them and building awareness, engaging with them. And that's also funded by Hertfordshire County Council. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you, Eno, for those kind words. Let me start today. Today, as I stand before you, I share a vision that is not a dream, but a commitment to bringing communities together under the banner of unity, understanding, and shared purpose. In a world that often feels divided by differences, be it cultural, social, or economic, our aim is simple yet profound: to bridge these divides and create a tapestry woven from threads of diversity, understanding, and mutual respect. This vision is what encapsulates One Vision for me. I am the Vice President for the South Asian Heritage Association. For me, SAHA is just not a word. It embodies our aspirations. It's about the power of inclusivity, where every voice finds resonance, every culture finds celebration, and every individual finds belonging. I would also like today to shed some light on an often overlooked yet profoundly important topic, which impacts our lives, which is mental health and well-being. Mental health isn't just the absence of struggles. It's about finding a balance that allows us to thrive. It's okay not to be okay. And seeking help is a sign of strength and not weakness. I think each one of us plays a very pivotal role in destigmatizing mental health. It starts with open conversations, compassion, and a willingness to listen without judgment. Together, we can create a very supportive environment where seeking help is met with understanding, empathy, and encouragement. To take this forward, we're actually launching a new year, new beginning health and well-being program for the South Asian communities. The launch is going to be happening in the House of Parliament on the 22nd of Jan 2024. This was, in fact, I also, as we stand on the brink of the new year, I'm very thrilled actually to talk about, these new beginnings that we are going to be seeing. Jan 2024 marks the onset of several impactful projects that Enoch has spoken about, and that I'm just going to shed a bit of light on it. We are entering into three projects, which is Unpaid Carers Project, the Broxbourne Diabetes Project, and the Macmillan Project. These projects, again, embody our dedication to making a difference and bringing about positive changes in our community. The Unpaid Carers Project's aim is to identify and support adult unpaid carers in South Asian communities. The Diabetes Project in Broxbourne is geared towards improving health outcomes for individuals who are either pre-diabetic or are already affected by this condition, and how our project is going to, help them lead better and healthy lives. And lastly, the Macmillan Project for us holds a promise of increasing awareness and taking away stigmas and lowering barriers for people, and talking about cancer very openly in our communities. To me, this is what the new year brings. And here's to embracing the new opportunities that awaits us in the coming months and making a lasting difference in the lives of those we serve. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you all and working with you all and creating more community connectors for us as we go forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. And Priyanka, you're going to be in touch with everyone in terms
yes.
of the Techend and all the programs and everything. Okay, that's brilliant. Our next speaker, Alka, should I introduce you? What a small world it is.
Go ahead, Enoch.
The reason why I'm saying is Alka and me known each other for a few years, I think. Alka is my personal dietitian in my health. We dated actually to look after my health a few years back. Her phone calls are to have a right go at me on my diet.
I'm glad you remember them.
Yeah, in my personal life, that's for another day. But she's excellent. She controlled me in many years, and it's good to meet you, Alka. And in 2024, I pledge I'll be in touch with you. I have to be in touch with you.
See, I found you eventually.
Thank you. Thank you. Alka, over to you.
Thank you so much, Enoch. Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here. My name is, I don't know if people know me. Well, after we've kind of got connections with people, which I'm just realizing here. There are a few people here which I have got connections from the past. One, of course, is Enoch. So I'm Alka Pandey. I'm a specialist dietitian at Buckinghamshire Healthcare Trust. And I've been involved with specialisms like ITU and diabetes since 2018. I started ITU and both the specialisms in 2018, and then COVID happened. I was in ITU and sitting and seeing patients with COVID come in. Days passed by. We had initially so many deaths, premature deaths. And then that got me thinking as to what is happening with our BAME people, and why are there more deaths occurring in them as compared to the non-BAME people. That got me thinking as to what is happening. And every time I saw the records, it was always the comorbidity of diabetes, blood pressure, heart problems, being overweight, which were the most common running factor. And that got me thinking, and that's why I was like, I have to do something about it outside of my work. And that's how I started doing things for South Asian and BAME people. I am a chair of the BAME network at my trust. So, sorry, I should say a co-chair at my trust. So I got to do a lot of work in that capacity also. Let's get on to the reason why I'm here today. So I'm going to talk a bit about nutrition and mental health, how both are connected, and how we can use nutrition to improve mental health. Thank you, Sharon, and thank you, Priyanka, for perfectly alluding to nutrition and mental health connections. Yeah, thank you. So, speaking about nutrition and mental health, and whilst I gave a connection to COVID before, nutrition plays such an important role with everything. And after COVID happened, we knew that nutrition was one of the reasons why we were, especially in the non-white community, to mention specifically the Black and Asian communities, we are so much fond of our foods that we kind of overdo it sometimes, or underdo it. It can be both. And to support our when COVID happened, we all were suffering in different ways, be it your physical health, be it your mental health, and that kind of predisposed us. But something positive came out of that too, was that, we started thinking about our physical health, how we can change it, and how we can change our mental health. So if we can go on to the next slide, please. And the next question for everyone on the platform today is there a connection? Do you think nutrition affects your mental health in some way? Or think about the association you had with your food and what makes you go drooling over food. Everyone has a favorite food, I'm sure. I can see a few faces smiling. So, we all have that favorite food. If it's your birthday and I ask you, what is it that you want to eat? You will quote your favorite food. Okay, so some foods and drinks makes us affect how we feel in different ways. Some foods affect our mood, make us happy. There's a saying which says, desserts are stress spells. If you go the opposite direction, desserts is equal to stress. So, when you're stressed, you have desserts. Or, we have this famous iconic scene from Hollywood and Bollywood movies which show stressed people sitting with a tub of ice cream and with a spoon and going like this. So, that vision is kind of set in our minds. And sometimes when we are struggling with things, we resort to these kind of ways. Some foods have this religious, social, and economic, cultural significance, and that's why we stick to it. We like it. We associate it with good memories, and that's why we kind of, practice what we do. Next one, please. So how does food affect us? And today's presentation is just going to be a basic skeletal presentation to help you rocket launch into 2024 with good nutrition. And we will kind of develop on it in the next year. So how does food affect us? Food affects our blood sugars. It affects our gut health. Fluids affect our physical and mental health. Now, when we eat food, everything gets digested, is converted into glucose. That glucose enters our blood, gives energy to our cells. That's how we feel nice when we eat. Glucose is the only molecule that can pass our blood-brain barrier, so goes through that brain and helps us feel nicer. So people sometimes when we feel dizzy or lightheaded and we say, are you going low in your blood sugars? So you feel fuzzy and you feel the need to have energy, and then you have food. So food can affect us in many different ways. To maintain optimal blood sugars is really, really important. Sometimes when we are not in a correct state of mind and we feel that fuzzy and lightheaded, it could be because we haven't had the right nutrition, or because of our mental health issues, we are not eating very well. And it could be a lot of different reasons for why we are not eating well. We talked about the gut health. The gut and our digestive system is connected to our brain. If our gut is healthy, there's research, if our gut is healthy, our physical and mental health also will be healthy. So that is another aspect that we need to look at. Fluids, when you are in a particular state of mind or physical pain or something, fluids and food sometimes is the last thing you have in mind. And when you don't have enough fluids, you are dehydrated, and that dehydration can give you migraines, headaches, throbbing pain, and that can lead to making wrong decisions or making wrong choices in life. If we are not having proper nutrition, or we are restricting ourselves in different food groups, or in different ways, or I'm not eating that, or I'm not eating that food group, or let me cut out this, with the new year coming, the most new year resolutions are around our weight, our physical health. So we all start with that go-getter attitude, and by the end of January we've all come out of that tunnel. So when we restrict foods and food groups, we are missing vitamins and minerals. And these can affect our mental health too. When you're in physical pain, the mental health also gets affected because that restricts maybe your mobility, maybe your decision-making capacity, maybe your ability to do some work that you have been able to do beautifully well. Next one, please. So just very quickly, and I know we are running out of time, so a bit of on minerals and new vitamins that we need to kind of pay attention to would be iron, B vitamins, next one please, folic acid, selenium, and I've given a bit of like, you know, a matter on this, but the recording will be shared and people can see it later on. Otherwise, I'm here to help answer questions. Next one, please. A few other connections will be serotonin. Now, serotonin is the feel-good hormone that is produced by a component of protein called as tryptophan, and tryptophan is helped into our system by carbohydrates. So some people who restrict carbohydrates, and it is that association that we talked earlier, can also cause you know, mental health issues. Some people, you know, they want to do so much of good in terms of weight, in terms of you know, like losing weight or, you know, gaining some muscles, and doing that, they forget about the basic necessities of life. They keep doing this and then they are in a very miserable condition. So, you know, we need to kind of get on with that. Sorry, Abha, can I go back very quickly? Just a little bit of chat on healthy fats. These are really, really important for us. Fats in general we need to reduce, but the good fats help us because they have got good omega-3s, they have, which can enter our brain barrier and help us develop our brains. Now our brain cells is 50% is fat, so if we are just restricting fat in our diet, that's not going to help us. So we need to have fats, but we need to have the good healthy fats and the good omega-3 fats, which are found in fish, oily fish, nuts, seeds, olive oil, olives, and those kind of stuff. Alcohol, we all know what alcohol does to us. So if we are if we are, you know, planning for the New Year party, just be very sensible, and I won't say anything more than that. So just to summarize, and I know it has been like a rocket launching session because I didn't want to take much of time, but I'm happy to answer questions if you wanted to. So tips to go, and these are the tips that I thought of, you know, with going into the new year that anyone can follow, is start your day with a protein breakfast, go low on caffeine, and you know, when people say, oh, caffeine wakes me up, but it also can make you jittery sometimes, affects sleep, which is not really good, because sleep and exercise works wonders for us. We cannot undermine the effect of exercise and sleep, good sleep. Stay well hydrated. Fluids are important for our brain to function properly, for our physical health to take place properly. And fluids does not mean, you know, just guzzling down loads of water. It also includes teas and coffees in limited amount, squash, no added sugar squashes, and those kind of stuff. You can make your own fruit infusions. Don't buy in all those fancy fruit infusion bottles. You can make your own. If you need any ideas, I'm here. And then you can include snacks such as healthy snacks, fruit, vegetables. A little bit of preparation and organization is needed, but once you get into the rhythm of it, and it takes 21 days to form a habit. So consistency is key, and then having little and often, and don't go rushing into making all these changes. Take one change at a time, like how it is one vision, one change at a time, but you can include it and get on to the next one. So don't set yourself up for failure. One change at a time and one step at a time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alka. Fantastic. This is what we need. I always say my eyes are bigger than my stomach. Is very well known. It's very, very hard, difficult, especially coming from a South Asian background, you know, forsaking our food, lovely food, I would say.
Can I give
I've
just
just
one
said,
example, Enoch?
yes, yeah.
I had a Sri Lankan patient who was waiting for a kidney transplant and with a very high HbA1c.
Mm.
And I've worked with him continuously as part of my hospital trust. And he got his blood sugars down. He was able to get his renal transplant on a Sri Lankan diet. So it can
Well
be done.
done. Yeah, it can be done. Yeah,
It can.
that's
He
the
was so
hope.
happy. The
That's the
state,
hope we needed. Yeah.
yes.
I'm gonna open up the floor for all the three of speakers if you want to ask any specific question to them. I want to ask Alka, do you run any online dietary products which specific for controlling the blood sugar? Anything we can purchase? It's very difficult when you go to shop.
I don't do any dietary products. As a dietitian, I give, because I don't want you to buy anything more. There is no epiphany product which
Okay,
can, you buy and say, but I will work with you. I give online diet consultations. I can
brilliant.
give diet plans. I like to work with our Asian and Afro-Caribbean people because I
Yeah,
understand the diet very well. So I can work with you. I can work with a diet plan, but
yeah,
I work around your cultural needs.
brilliant.
That is
You know,
important because that is sustainable. Otherwise, it is just not happening. People will do for 2 months and then forget about it.
sure. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Any questions? I got Sangeeta. You're on mute, Sangeeta.
Yeah, hi, excellent webinar. I have attended first time. I just want to give a brief intro about myself. I have been an academician, recently moved to London, and we are working on the Higher Education Institute for the academic stress. Academic stress among students is a part of a big mental stress of the students. And we are developing an artificial intelligence mediated module for the timely intervention. If you see, we are talking about the post-treatment strategies. I'm focusing on the preventive strategies by the use of this module. So in case anybody needs any help, I will be like to be part of this group to contribute whatever I can and to be reach out to the schools and colleges and the universities where we can use this preventive strategy for the academic stress measurement.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sangeeta. If you could drop your contact details in the chat, would be great. And Priyanka,
Okay.
Abba would be taken over. Anyone else? Abba, do you want to say a few words or anything you want to add?
Yeah, thank you, Enoch. Thank you so much. It's been so informative, and it's really kind of catapulting us into the hope spectrum for the next year. Definitely, the kind of conversations we've had from Sharon and Alka and Priyanka. I would just take this opportunity just to introduce myself. I'm Abha. I am volunteering with One Vision, and I'm also looking at relationship development for SAHA, because our aim as One Vision and SAHA is not to really kind of duplicate the work people are doing in the community, but collaborate with them and work alongside people, bringing communities together. So thank you, Sangeeta, and we'll definitely reach out to you as well. And I just want to take this opportunity to invite everybody for 22nd January, as Priyanka mentioned, we are doing this health and well-being launch for South Asian communities. And we would love to have you there at the Houses of Parliament and be a part of this initiative. And we'll share more details in time. Thank you. Thank you, Enoch. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to get some excellent speakers. Some of us here will be one of our guest speakers as well. So please make that date. I'm going to hand over to Akhtar Zaman DL. Let me introduce who Akhtar is. If I'm not going to make you embarrassed, Akhtar is a very good friend. And he's a mentor and he's a big brother. Should I call you a Basha? Akhtar is the president of Islamic Center in St. Albans. He's also the president of South Asian Heritage Association. Akhtar is professionally an IT gig, IT man. He does a lot of work in the community. He's a deputy lieutenant. He's a school governor, and He's an advisor for Harjeet and myself. Before I hand over to Akhtar to close this event, I want to say a big thank you to everyone. And on behalf of Harjeet as well, Harjeet could not speak, he is unwell, and also he's in an event which is very noisy at the moment, so he could not, but he's listening to us. On behalf of Harjeet and I, we want to say a big thank you, heartfelt thank you to everyone who supported during 2023. And I'm looking forward to work with you in 2024 in all our projects, in reaching out communities and learning from you all to reach out communities in a different way. And thank you, Alka, for coming back in my life personally. I'll be in touch and we will work together on our journey. And I got my wife sitting at the back and my 2 children. And on behalf of my family, I want to extend a Happy New Year to everyone and have an excellent New Year and enjoy yourself. And I'm looking forward to meeting you all personally in 2024. Over to you, Akhtar.
Okay, good evening, everybody, and thank you, Enoch, for your kind words. I'm not worthy. But I have to start off by saying what a great session this evening has been. Definitely inspirational learning experience, if I could summarize it in a couple of words. A wise man or wise person once said, if you have knowledge, let others light their candles in it. I'll repeat that. If you have knowledge, let others light their candles in it. So knowledge is very important. So what is knowledge and how do we make the correct use of it? For example, knowledge is knowing that tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. So in summary, wisdom is the correct use of that knowledge. So we need to gain the knowledge, but we need to turn it into wisdom so we can gain the most benefits from it. As Enoch has already mentioned, and most of you know, but for those of you who don't, my name is Akhtar Zaman. I'm a Deputy Lieutenant of Hertfordshire. I'm also privileged to be the President of the South Asian Heritage Association. It's been a good addition to my life because it allows me to work with passion for what I enjoy, which is working with the community. And it is an absolute pleasure to be part of such an enlightening event tonight. The enlightenment is only possible with the participation and experience of the wise guests that we have today. I mean, I'd like to kind of say a big thank you. I thought about this and I thought, should I list all? And as Enoch mentioned earlier, it went over several pages. So I cut it down to try and cover everything, but to use the minimum amount of time. So I want to say a big thank you for all of you today for attending this session, because without you, you know, this session wouldn't happen and we wouldn't gain the benefits from it. My gratitude always goes to One Vision, Enoch, Harjeet, good friends of mine, Nemo, you know, all the people that come together to make things happen. It is not an easy thing to do. Trust me, I've tried it myself and it's not easy. So these people who make it happen put a lot of effort into it. So thank you for that. And I have to say, the ever hardworking Priyanka and her team of community connectors, again, without you, most of this would not be possible. But most importantly, a very special thank you to our knowledgeable guest speakers today, both Sharon and Alka. So thank you for attending today and enlightening us with your wisdom. I think all of tonight's presentations are important to me. As a person of faith and someone who is moving to a healthy diet And you wouldn't believe this, but I went to the gym 4 times this week already. So my 2024 wishes have started early. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, caring for the whole community. It's not about personal goals, but it's the goals of the community as well. I'm sure you will agree with me that this evening session has been inspirational and made us more knowledgeable and better equipped to manage our mental health, diet, and well-being. It is now our duty to make sure that the learnings from tonight reach every member of the community. Mental health and well-being matters is for all. It does not discriminate whether you're young, old, male, female. It can affect us all. Therefore, we can all benefit from the knowledge gained tonight. And I'm sure that we will spread the word. My main takeaways from this evening are, we need to support the people to feel more connected to their community, more confident and less socially isolated by linking them into local groups and services. And I guess our ultimate goal must be for people to be better equipped to manage their own health and well-being with less reliance on clinical health and care services. I want to finish by saying One Vision is here to bring people together and support their needs. So thank you all for being a part of this wonderful organization and participating this evening.